Hi, welcome to Bonnington. My name is Thomas Gagliardi. I'm the executive chef here. Today I'm going to introduce to you the new Kenwood Cooking Chef. This is Kenwood's newest technology. It is a pro chef mixer, if you will, that cooks in essence. So today I'm going to introduce this machine with a recipe, something quick and easy that can be easily reproduced at home. It's all one-stop cooking. Everything is done inside the machine. So today I'm going to start with a 3-bean chili. This is essentially the way the machine works is like most other mixers in its general operation, as far as you have your spinning, you have your bowl, etc. Except now this one has a dial that will allow it to heat up and cook. So this recipe is very, very simple. All you start with is some grapeseed oil. The details of the recipe will, of course, be in the video. I'm going to do beef bacon, as we are in this country. Then we're going to add some beef, minced beef. We're going to add the onions, celery, and carrots. And really, that's all we add at this point. Then all we have to do is close the machine. And we turn the dial on up to about 110 degrees. This is wonderful because it tells you exactly what temperature you're operating at. It has a timer, it has everything. I turn it on and it will heat up. And within 40 to 50 seconds, you'll see some steam coming out. And then from there, it does all the work for you. We're going to give it about 10 minutes. And then the next stage. So once the beef is more or less minced up into small pieces like a crumble, and then it's mostly cooked, we're going to go to the next stage of the recipe. At this point, we're going to add our tomato juice. We're going to add some beer. A dark beer is recommended, however, any beer will do. We're going to add some tomato paste, brown sugar, our chipotle, which is it's a smoked jalapeno, and then it's soaked in adobo sauce. You can buy these at most supermarkets, and some sweet chili powder, and some garlic powder. Believe it or not, for this recipe, garlic powder is acceptable. So at this point, we turn off the cooking chef, and we open it up. And we literally just pour the ingredients in. I like to start with the beer. The tomato juice. The garlic powder. The sweet chili powder, or if you like it spicy, by all means, use a cayenne or a spicy chili. Kashmiri chili is nice. We add the minced chipotle, the brown sugar, and the tomato paste. And then we close the machine, we keep the temperature the same, and we turn it back on. We let it spin slowly with the soup attachment, and we allow it to cook together. It'll become well incorporated, and then we'll finish it with the beans. At the same time, we don't want to forget to season as we go. Some salt and fresh ground pepper, just to bring it up to your tastes. Chili is an interesting dish. It is one of those purely American dishes. It was created by the pioneers going across America in the 1800s for the gold rush. It was essentially meat. The only way that you could store meat for protein for the pioneers was to salt it. So they would heavily cure it in salt, which made it almost inedible. The combination of the salt and the rancidity of the meat made it very not fun to eat. So the early pioneers, they would boil it in water to make it a little more tender so they could actually chew it. And then to get over the taste of the rancidity, what they did was they collected wild growing chili peppers in the southwest of the United States, and they would boil it with the chilies, and the spiciness would cover the rancidity and the bad flavor of the meat. However, as time progressed, people actually they perfected the art and they made it taste great, and they use fresh meats, and you can make chilies out of anything, whether it's beef, venison, ox, anything. So during the process, while you're waiting for it to come back to a simmer, you'll want to stop it at least one time and just scrape the bowl down with a rubber scraper to get all those bits that are not in the main piece of the soup at this point. And that's about all the labor that you need with the Kenwood Cooking Chef. And turn it back on. At this point, you'd be very safe to set the timer for about 10 to 12 minutes, walk away from it, and then when you come back, it's ready to go to the next step. Okay, so once it starts to simmer, we'll lower the temperature to about 90 to 100 degrees so it doesn't splash all over. The Kenwood Cooking Chef also comes with a pretty handy splash guard. If you're afraid that it's going to splash on you, it just literally slides on, keeps a wide open mouth. However, for recording purposes especially, I want to keep it open. So at this stage, once you come to the simmer, you've lowered your temperature a little bit. You're going to open the machine one more time, and this is the last time before you get ready for service. We have 3 types of beans that we add to this 3-bean chili. One is a black bean, one is a red kidney bean, and one is a white bean or a cannelloni bean. And what we do is we soak the beans overnight, and then we actually boil them in salted water until they're very, very tender. At this, not so tender that they become mushy, however tender with just a little bit of a bite to it. Then you're going to add this to the chili all at the same time. And then you're going to allow it to cook one last time for about approximately 10 to 12 minutes, and it's finished. And then we'll garnish it and serve it. Okay, so at this stage, the chili is finished. The last thing we want to do is turn the mixer off for 1 second. Turn the heat off. Just check the seasoning using a spoon. If it needs any more seasoning, to your taste, to your specific taste. The great thing about cooking anything at all at home is the fact that you're cooking to your own personal tastes. So if you feel it needs a little bit more salt, put a little more salt, a little more pepper if necessary, a little more anything if necessary. If you want it more sweet, add a little bit of sugar. Anyway, with that in mind, then we just stir it up for just a little bit to get the seasoning back in. And then at this stage, we're going to bowl it up. The way that I like this chili served is in a bowl with Monterey Jack cheese and cheddar cheese melted on top, and served with some corn crisps, which I'll show you in a. So at this stage, you want to take, before you take the bowl off, you want to take the attachment off. Now it's going to be very hot, obviously. So what you want to do is you want to have a towel in your hand and have a plate or something to set it on, and then bring it over to your dishwasher. In this case, Dean. We're going to remove the bowl so we can actually actively. Now at this stage, your chili looks pretty much like this, and you just spoon it into your bowl, however hungry you are. And then we're going to put a little bit of cheddar and jack cheese mixed, which is just grated, right on top. And we're going to melt it in the oven. Okay, so after just a few minutes in a very hot oven, the cheese will melt, and then using a dry towel, you'll want to remove it from the oven. Being careful that it's very hot, you might want to put it on another plate before service. However, in this case, I'm going to garnish it with some corn chips, which are very nice when you go to eat it. Another good garnish is always coriander leaves, maybe toasted cumin seeds, things like this. When you go to eat it, you'll just crack through the chips. And here we have 3-bean sweet chili via the Kenwood cooking chef and Chef Thomas from the Bonnington.